jumped right in this morning and we got the chassis assembled for the 88. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. All the screw holes were perfect, no complaints whatsoever. Followed the little notes along with the instruction book and all was good. And now we're moving on to the transmission. So let me get that built and we'll come back. All right, transmission and transfer case are done. Just because of the short wheelbase, obviously you lose the jack shaft in between, so they give you this fantastic little spacer when you build the transfer case. It sits in here until you're ready to join the transmission to the transfer case, and it just slides in and it is smooth as butter. I don't know if you can actually see the pin movements, but yeah, it is super smooth. The 2-speed works fantastically by hand, which is always a sign of good stuff. So everything should spin smoothly by hand. So all right, looks like we're getting into step 7 of the build, which is leaf spring fun. So front axle leaf springs, we gotta do some disassembly and reassembly on the perches to put the springs on. So it's very tedious, but you've seen me do it before, so I'm not going to bore you with it. I'll come back when I got all that assembled. Progress. So got the leaves on the axles per the instructions with the 10 degrees put into them. And front, same. And they are even. The springs are a little bit twisty, but they'll flatten out. Also have the spring hangers on the chassis, all the points, all the flex points, and the anti-torque bars are in. Here's the rears. So next step is moving on to my favorite thing, is building shocks. So on to shocks. Okay, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritties of details here, but axles are in, steering servo is in, shift servo is in, and this is probably the longest shift servo lead I have ever seen in my life. So I don't think that's going to have any problems getting back here to the radio tray. Even the steering servo lead is pretty much there, so I don't think there's going to be any problems with that. But drive shafts are in. They're definitely pretty awesome. Skids are on. Everything bolted up fine. I didn't have any issues with any of the hardware, any of the holes. Probably the only thing that I would suggest is the ball ends actually have a lot of crud in them. It's just like shavings debris, but just running a screw through one of these ball ends, there's junk in some of them. So that's, I mean, I'm really nitpicking now, but I mean, that's it. That's kind of all I've seen. The spare parts that they give you in the extras bag is more than enough. I was short one screw in the bag for one of the skid plate screws, but again, the screws were in the spare parts bag that they gave you, so yeah, no complaints whatsoever. So I'm going to continue moving on and we'll see what the next brings. I think the next is motor actually, so we'll get there. All right, I feel like I'm at a pretty good stopping spot for now. Chassis is assembled. Got a motor in, Castle, it's a 1900 kV Slate. The Reefs Raw 500 steering servo. And everything is in and looking great. Suspension cycles, beautiful. I got no issues whatsoever. Everything is doing good. Got my plate on, and yeah, so everything's set, and wheels and tires are next. And I think I'll do that either this evening or tomorrow. And then we'll start pre-assembling the body. Actually, no, we'll get the electronics done. We'll get this into a driving chassis, but we'll do that tomorrow. Getting a little tired. So until then, thanks for watching. Make sure to tune in for the next episode. Thanks.